is rarely pretty and it is rarely perfect, but the Dallas Cowboys have survived month 1 of the NFL season. They're 2-2 heading into week 5 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, ready to kick off October football now. And they're also looking to build off of what they learned about themselves in the first month of the NFL season. There's games on the schedule that the Cowboys barely slip past, and then there's games that they obviously wish they could take back. But it's now they're sitting at 2-2, a reason to be optimistic, though, for the rest of the Cowboys team. Is there a little bit of a reason to be optimistic? The Cowboys crew on Talking Cowboys share one of their reasons why there's still room for a little bit of faith.
Not only are you getting better on that defensive line, but your offensive line and Cooper Beebe is showing some solid stuff moving forward. I like what I've seen from Cooper Beebe. Again, not perfect, but in terms of a guy that's stepping into a starting role, switching positions, moving from guard in college to the center position in the NFL, I think he's done a phenomenal job to this point, and he's starting to become an anchor of your offensive line.
Right, absolutely. And you also have to give Tyler Guyton some credit, too. I know it hasn't been pretty. All of these games have not, but
it's also a much more difficult position to be plopped into. We talked about this. Starting 100%. Left tackle, you're on an island.
Yep.
You are on an island, and you're being isolated, and it's right into the fire. So he's shown flashes of what he can be, and he's shown flashes of struggles. And like we talked about, he just needs to stay off of the officials' radar as far as holding is concerned, because now they're flagging him even when it's not a thing. But when you talk about Cooper Beebe, shouts out to Coupe de Ville, because he is looking quite luxurious.
Not the Coupe de Ville.
Yeah, Coupe de Ville. Right, okay. He's looking quite luxurious as these games begin to go on. 4 games in, he's only had arguably one bad game, which was the game against the Ravens when he allowed 3 pressures. But again, the entire offensive line was basically a turnstile in that game. So it's kind of a butterfly effect all the way down the line, the front 5. But, 0 pressures allowed, hell of a bounce-back game against the New York Giants, against one of the best defensive fronts in the NFL. So for all the fun you can make of the New York Giants, and yeah, they're a bad team overall, that defensive line is not to be fooled around with Dexter Lawrence and guys.
No.
And Cooper Beebe did more than hold his own. So shouts out to Coupe de Ville, and shouts out to him making Kyle's high five.
Boom.
Deservedly so.
So
100%.
the way that I put it on here, too, it was out of all of the 5 starting offensive linemen, he has the second lowest pressure percentage, which is supposed to happen from your center. Your center is not supposed to allow a ton of pressures. But remember,
now,
in context, change of position, rookie, center, all the turnstiles on the outside of the offensive line, there's a lot of things going on there. Only Tyler Smith has a lower percentage than Cooper Beebe. He has a lower percentage than Zach Martin, has a lower percentage than Terrence Steele, and, of course, a lower percentage than Tyler Guyton as well. So I like what I've seen so far, 22 pass snaps and 0 pressures against New York. And, of course, an ability to anchor that offensive line is a big thing.
Kyle Yeomans and Josh Rodriguez, no Isaiah Stanback on that episode, but Patrick Nosey Walker as well, mentioning the offensive line. Not perfect, but they've certainly made the necessary steps to improve. I mean, you look at all things considering with 2 rookies starting on this offensive line. They went from allowing 3 sacks in back-to-back weeks in weeks 2 and week 3 to allowing just 1 in week 4. Certainly not perfection, but it's still, again, like I mentioned, improvement. But another reason for some optimistic is this defensive line. But could the newest setbacks set this team back a few more weeks? Could the new losses make this team suffer a little bit longer and ruin the necessary things that they improved on in September football to cap off the month? We'll be right back with more on Cowboys Rewind.
Cowboys Rewind is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by SWBC Mortgage, customized solutions to help you meet your personal and business goals. Visit swbc.com. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
If the Dallas Cowboys learned just one thing about them this year, it's that discipline and paying attention to detail is a key ingredient for the success of this run defense. After back-to-back weeks of getting exposed, Each player did a little bit of some soul searching, some self-reflecting, and bounced back with the performance of the year. The Cowboys allowed a season-low 26 rushing yards against the Giants in Week 4. This defense left feeling more confident, but also with an injured Demarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. So a tough blow, but an opportunity for other pass rushers in Marshawn Nealon, Carl Lawson, and Chauncey Golston, and possibly Tyrus Wheat to emerge.
Definitely just taking that, just knowing that, it's football, injuries happen. And, I like to prepare like I'm going to play a lot anyway. So now just knowing that, I'm going to play a really good amount. It's just, it's just be playing football at the end of the day.
Micah has a lot of positive things to say about you and what you can become and what you can do. What does it mean to have a guy like that accomplish what he has, speak so highly of you?
It means a lot. Definitely, just coming from a teammate, somebody that, when I came in, he helped me out. Him and D-Law both helped me out a lot and, took me under their wing to basically help coach me up as a player. And, yeah, it just means a lot.
What are some conversations you've had with either of those guys in the last few days?
Say that again?
What are some conversations you've had with either of those two guys over the last few days?
Basically, just them telling me, I got to hold it down now until they come back. And yeah.
What have you felt comfortable doing since the season started, and what do you feel like you kind of have to move for improvement as well?
Definitely feel comfortable knowing the plays, being out there to, make plays as I can. Definitely got to improve a little bit more on the pass rush front. That's just, for myself, I got to do that. And, yeah.
What's the biggest growth you've had so far through 4 games personally?
Just getting a feel for the game. I feel like the past game, just being able to play a decent amount, it's starting to slow down a little bit. Being able to go out there, obviously watch them too, and learn a good amount.
From a pass rush perspective, is it more, when you're trying to take that growth, is it more move-based? Is it more just understanding the speed? Maybe the other, what is the biggest growth left in terms of pass rush for you?
Understanding the speed and knowing what rushes I can use and when, because obviously we got to all rush together as a D-line. And, if I go underneath, I can't have somebody else go underneath and then we lose contain and, like that.
What's the mentality as a group when you lose 2 of your better guys in the front 7, and collectively as a group you have to compensate for that? What's the overall approach then?
It's just we know we got to step up for our boys. We know that seeing them go down, obviously none of us wanted that to happen, but we all just got to come together and play for each other.
Micah Parsons will be day-to-day, but Demarcus Lawrence has officially been moved to IR, means he'll be out for 4 weeks and could be out for possibly a little bit more. So the Cowboys picked up KJ Henry off the Bengals practice squad to add a little bit more depth. A 5th-round pick in the 2023 NFL Draft that's finished with 19 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 2 pass breakups, and 1.5 sacks in 10 games. So what does that mean, and what does that bring others that others in this room don't? Well, Henry talked to the media about it.
I'm ready to go. It helps that, Z, me and him worked together last year in Washington. I know his coaching style. I know what he wants, what he's looking for. I know how to make him mad, all those things in between. So really it's just, I feel like one of the better things that I have is the knowledge of the game. My dad being a football coach. And so to be able to learn a scheme quickly is something that I feel very comfortable with. So I'm making sure that I'm ready to go and impact the game.
How different is the scheme from what you've done for the past?
Every scheme's different, so it's definitely different. I think I just have to get in more and see how it feels as far as the scheme itself. But as far as learning it, football's still football, 3 technique still 3 technique, like just different names for things. It's essentially just cowboy language. But it's a lot of things are the same, and then some nuances just for Dallas.
You played the position, obviously what Micah does and D-Law and all that. To come in here knowing that they're hurt like that, what is that? What kind of is it pressure? Or is it excitement for the opportunity?
First off, it's tough, man, because I never want to earn or get an opportunity from injury. I never wish that on anybody. A lot closer to Micah than D-Law, but when I get a chance, going to introduce myself to him and give him nothing but my prayers. But like I said, excited for opportunity. Not really pressure, man. Like I said, it's really to the point where I just want to play ball again. I'm comfortable with my coach, comfortable with the scheme. A lot of players in this locker room I know. It's just happy to do what I do.
KJ Henry's also played about 80 snaps on special teams, so I'm sure John Fossil will be excited about what he can contribute on special teams. But while this defense looks to pick up the pieces that Demarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons will leave, this wide receiver room looks to do the same with Brandin Cooks. Who will fill the void of Brandin Cooks? That's up next here on Cowboys Rewind.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's been a slow start for this Dallas Cowboys offense, trying to find some identity through the first 4 weeks. But this week, they hope to do it. They'll just have to see with what they're cooking with without Brandin Cooks heading into week 5 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was confirmed this week that Cooks is dealing with a knee infection, so there's no timetable on his return, but he could miss the next 2 games, returning after the bye week to face San Francisco. It'll move Jalen Tolbert into the starting lineup alongside CeeDee Lamb, but there's playmakers in Jalen Brooks, Kevontae Turpin, and Ryan Flanoy who could make his debut, and Mike McCarthy's confident in this room. How about the guys?
It's built that hunger. You know, week 5 is now, and I ain't played since, the last preseason game, and I've been hungry ever since. Like, I'm thankful and thank God that I'm able to show what I got, you know, just to prove to the world that I belong.
With Brandin Cooks being one of the bigger mentors in the locker room, especially in the wide receiver room, seeing that he can't go this week, if you are, as expected, elevated to play this week, what are some of the biggest teachings you take from Brandin Cooks onto the field to try to make sure that you're not too high, not too low, or whatever other, mentor
just respecting the game. Like, the game of football, you win, you lose, but you next play, you respect it again just by going out and playing your hardest. And Brandin Cooks is an amazing football player, even an amazing person. So, like, what he taught me over, like, the past few months that I've been here, man, I feel like I could play 11 years in the league just as he did. So, you know, he's a great mentor and just a great human being.
What's the one thing that you've taken from Brandon, or the knowledge that he's important? Just like top of the list.
Like I said, respecting the game. So if you respect the game will respect you back. So, you know, if you watch Brandon, how he operates, he's a professional, and, you know, that comes with respect. So everybody in this locker room respect him. I'm pretty sure everybody in the NFL respect him. That's because he respects the game so much. So just respecting the game, coming in, you know, when I have to work out, coming in early and warming up and make sure my body's right. And after, like, on the field, he's getting extra work. That's so much respect to the game, and that's why he's been playing 11 years.
To be honest with you, I didn't even know that he was going to be out. I called him yesterday, and he told me, and he just told me to be me, get ready for the game. He knows the type of player that I'm capable of being. He knows what I'm made of, and so he's looking forward to seeing me go out there and have an opportunity.
Cooks has been one of your biggest mentors since he came into the organization. With him out at least this week, what are some of the biggest teachings that you can lean on from him going into this game?
Be myself, go out there, play a play at a time. You know, if you have a bad play before, don't harp on it, go to the next one and be where your feet are. And, you know, not having him out there is going to hurt, but it's also motivation for all of the guys in the room. You know, we're playing for him. We're going to go out there and do what we have to for him, and we look forward to getting him back.
What was the biggest thing you had to improve on this offseason in terms of your growth?
I think just building my body physically, getting bigger. And then also just the depths and details on routes, just continuing to build that chemistry with Dak, building his trust, and being with him this offseason really helped. And then going into training camp and being able to be out there with him for most of the time really showed the work that we put in and allowed me to grow confidence, not only in myself but also with Dak. So I think that was a big part of the offseason and a jump that helped me.
We talk about Brandon's leadership so much, but he talked going into the season like he still wants to produce, he still wants to be a guy. What are his emotions that you're gathering about how much it hurts to have to miss time like this?
Honestly, I know it hurts him because, as you know, that's like my big bro. We talk all the time. I mean, we're getting off the plane from New York. It's 4 in the morning, and he's on the phone with me. So he's talking about the game we just had, you know, a play that he could have got. You know, maybe he left something out there. So I already know he's hungry, and it's going to continue to build hunger with him not playing and, you know, having to watch for a week or however long he's out for. And so I know he's going to be ready, and I know he's going to work his butt back, work his tail off to get back to where he needs to.
You know, Micah talked about feeling like he's letting the team down. Do you feel like there's a similar vibe, even though it probably shouldn't be that way?
I'm sure he's a competitor. I'm sure he has that in his head, but also he's the type of guy that's not gonna show that. He's not gonna let that show. He's gonna put in the work that he needs to get himself back to where he needs to be, so he can come back and help us.
The wide receiver room confident that they can handle the challenge in week 5, but so is this offensive line. They're feeling a little bit of confidence as well. They have another one of the league's top defensive lines to face, but can they handle what's really coming in Pittsburgh? Find out right up next.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today. And to watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV.
It's no question that the Dallas Cowboys have a wealth of talent across that offensive line, but their limitations has just been the lack of experience, and it's shown through the first 4 weeks of the NFL season, having to be baptized by fire, facing some of the NFL's top defensive lines that include Cameron Jordan, Dexter Lawrence, and reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. If you thought those challenges, though, were tough, how about Pittsburgh Steelers defense that boasts T.J. Watt and Cameron Hayward, two of the top 10 highest graded defenders in 2024. So the holding penalties for the line has got to get cleaned up. Guys have to consistently win their battles through the full fourth quarters, and it's something Tyler Guyton has struggled with, but he owns it and ready to step up to the challenge.
I know since day one you've kind of talked about wanting to be perfect. Dak has talked about how, like, you know, if you have one mistake, you're like beating yourself up. How do you kind of balance that desire to go for perfection with not like being too hard on yourself?
I don't really have a balance. I'm aiming for perfection, so.
Your first NFL September is in the books, and Mike McCarthy talks a lot about how September is about learning yourself and getting some of the mistakes out of the way. What's your main goal going into October to make your October better than September?
I mean, just becoming a better football player and not hurting my team. You know, whatever it may be, penalties, sacks, pressures, I'm just trying to clean everything up as a whole and become a better player.
And what are some of the messages you're getting from the veterans like Tyler Smith and Zach Martin as far as just progressing and trusting the process?
Really good things from them is just there's ebbs and flows of the game, and you know people are going to talk good about you and talk bad about you, but it's about staying level-headed and staying focused.
When you look,
any mistakes you've had earlier going from right to left and just that, or is it more just you're sad and your fundamentals?
I think it's all on me. I just got to get better.
when you look at the challenge with a T.J. Watt, does getting some experience against a guy like a Myles Garrett, some of the other pass rushers you've gone up against, does that help you going into that challenge?
I mean, yeah, and also the coaches here are going to have us extremely prepared for him with all the moves that he does, so I think we'll be good.
You talk about those moves, you look at the tape, I mean, what makes him specifically special among the other top pass rushers?
I mean, his get off, his timing of the snap is amazing, and you got to be able to match that with your pass sets.
As far as trying to get the run game going, you know, that their defense has been really tough against the run. What's key to trying to have success in that department?
I mean, just playing nasty, doing our job and hitting our landmarks the correct way.
Going into October, do you feel like the Cowboys have found their identity for 2024 yet?
I mean, we're 4 games in. You know, I think we're still building every single day, every play. I think we're building towards something. I don't think we're at our best yet. We're not, because I feel like I need to do better. And if I'm not at my best, then we're not at our best. So I think we all have improvements to make.
Tyler Guyton mentioning being level-headed and focused. Well, that was the message for Mike McCarthy and this entire team here at the Star all week. But we're just a few hours from kickoff. How confident is this team? We hear from Trayvon Diggs up next.
Cowboys Rewind was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by SWBC Mortgage, customized solutions to help you meet your personal and business goals. Visit swbc.com.
You're gonna learn a lot. So we're gonna see what's in store for us this weekend. But I got faith in all the young guys. I got faith in all my teammates. So I feel like we'll be okay.
That was Trayvon Diggs expressing his confidence level with his team heading into Week 5, taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. But He also didn't shy away from expressing the state of the pressure that's on him Sunday later in that interview. He has to wear the hat of being a vocal leader. That's something he hasn't had to do much because of the Demarcus Lawrences and the Micah Parsons and the Brandin Cooks. But Diggs is just more of a show by example. But with younger guys and more inexperienced guys having to step up, he'll be called upon. Will it be easy? I don't know. Not at all. But the Cowboys can overcome this type of adversity and beat the Steelers. It certainly put them where they want to be heading into Week 6. The Steelers, 3-1, first in the AFC North, going to be a tough task. The Cowboys, second in the NFC East. Kickoff is on Sunday Night Football. Well, the last time the Cowboys actually had a Sunday night primetime game, that was 1982 when the Steelers had Terry Bradshaw and the Cowboys had Danny White at quarterback. Now, it's going to be a fun one to watch. Again, this Steelers matchup, the last time the Cowboys went out to Pittsburgh, they lost that meeting. They came back into Dallas and had a tough battle as well, but now they look forward to win this game, change things heading into October football. We'll see if they can get it done up next.